guys, welcome back to Earth to Rosita. So, I was putting it off talking about this topic for over a month now, and that's mainly just because I wanted to take in as much information as I could and learn about where I stand, like really identify where I stand with this whole conflict and what I think about Israel and Palestine. And what I really think about it is from an encyclopedia that I read about Palestine and Israel, because they both exist and they both have existed for thousands of years, or over 1,000 years. Is Palestine is the country and Israel is a state within the country. That's what I believe, because from what I've read in these encyclopedias, kind of explaining the most recent history of Palestine and Israel. And you can grill me on that. I don't care. I honestly don't care, because you're going to think what you're going to think, and I'm going to think what I'm going to think. I'm not here to change your mind. But what I am here to say is a lot of people are confused on where exactly I stand, what team I'm on. And they're confused because I'm not on a fucking team. I'm on Team Humanity. That's the team that I'm on. I have been posting a lot more about Palestine and what's coming, the scenes that I've seen coming out of Gaza, than I have Israel. And that is because the scenes that are coming out of Israel are atrocious. They're evil. What the Israeli government is doing to Gazans right now. Some people call it a genocide, including myself. I mean, I don't know what you want to, like, what it will take for you to call it a genocide if you're on the pro-Israeli side. Did you need at least 1 million Gazans dead in a population of 2.2 million, which most of them are half of them are babies and children? Is that what you need? You need 1 million babies, children, young adults dead for you to call it a genocide? Is that what you need? Well, good for you, because in the past month, in the month of October, 10,000 Palestinians have been bombed to death. So, 10,000. And I'm not saying this like, I know that Hamas attacked Israel, but it wasn't the first attack. It wasn't the first attack. And if you think that this attack started on October 7th, 2023, and there was no history, it was just like a random terrorist attack, then you're not even smart enough to be a part of this conversation, because you don't understand anything about what's going on. This conflict did not start in 2023, this year. It started in 1947. And this is what I believe happened in 1947, okay? The Palestinians are living in Palestine, their land, which, by the way, it exists. It's not a fake thing that the dirty brown people who practice a religion that you don't like just made up or claimed. It's a real thing. This is from a 1960s encyclopedia, okay? Palestine existed, and it still exists. So, see? It says Palestine, okay? Palestine existed. It has existed for nearly 2,000 years. So it's not just something that, the Israelis are trying to take back based on their holy book, based on their Judaic texts. Palestine is the country, and Israel is a state within Palestine's borders. And that's not really that hard to believe, because, yes, Israel has been acknowledged as a state as well. Israel has been acknowledged to have existed. And that's right here. And if you just read about it a little bit more, not on Wikipedia, not on some kind of like biased news post or something, or some pro-Israel or pro-Palestine, like, this is the objective fact, okay? This is what I gathered from reading these are a sort of holy book for me, because truth is found, objective truth and objective reality is found in people who have no bias and people who are just interested in objective facts. Palestine and Israel have coexisted within each other's borders, or like have coexisted alongside each other for thousands of years, and then the UN swept in and just ruined the harmony between them. That's what I believe. That's what I believe, because they wanted to do a land grab of Israel, and Palestinians had the right to resist, and still do have the right to resist. Palestinians had their homes literally stolen from them. And I'm not, like, there's a skit on this that I wanted to show that basically sums up what I think about it.
Hey man, this is actually my place. Well, me and my family have lived here for generations. Who told you that? This ancient book of made-up stories. Would you be happy enough just to piss off or die? No. Alright, calm down. God, you're so confrontational. Plan B, let's share. How could that possibly work? I get the house, you get the shed? Are you kidding me? I get a few guns, alarms, a few cameras to keep an eye on you, and obviously nothing gets in or out, including yourself, without my say-so, but yeah, I think I'm willing to compromise on this. What the hell are you doing? Defending myself and my home? Oh, why are you so violent and angry? He just kicked me out of my house. Where were you for that part of the story? What's the headline here? Housing dispute? Conflict? I'll just put, it's complicated. New owner seeks peaceful house shed resolution with terrifying legacy tenant. All happy? You know, I don't feel safe in my own home I just stole.
It's a skit, but I truly, like, from people's, there are people still alive today that can tell you the tale. And if you just have the ears to listen and put your ego aside and your pride, just like deactivate your pride by a lot to the point where it's non-existent, and just hear what real alive Palestinians are saying about what happened in 1948, then you would figure out that you've been lied to about the situation if you are pro-Israeli. So I do believe that, like, Israel has the right to exist in the sense that it has the right to exist as long as it's acknowledging that it's just a state in Palestine, that it's just a region in Palestine, and they don't claim the land, the whole land. That's what they're trying to do. That's what they're trying to claim, the whole land as their own, the whole country of Palestine as their own. That's what I've gathered from everything that I've seen, everything that I've read, every piece of information that I've absorbed in the last, like, 31 days. That's what is going on. They're trying to take a small part of the land to expand out even more. That's why they're attacking Gaza right now. It's because of the fact that they want to expand the border out to Gaza and eliminate the Palestinians. That's what I've gathered from what's happening right now. So they're not winning on the justice side because of the fact, not just because of the fact that their response to the Hamas attack was way overblown by like 9,000 more, but and probably growing because they have not stopped their attacks. And you can see what they're doing on one of the reporters, on the ground reporters, and not like reporting, for lack of a better word, of what's happening in Gaza right now. The scenes that are coming out in Gaza right now, here you go, have a look. That's what's happening in Gaza right now. Gaza is badbacht right now because of something that might have been a false flag anyway. If you remember every news story that came out from mainstream sources, the 40 beheaded babies, which I think has been debunked. I don't really care at this point to look into it. that much. The fact of the matter is that Israel's response is not righteous, and it's quite literally a war crime, because they're going with the response of collective punishment. And what is collective punishment? Collective punishment is a war crime. That's like internationally known as the war crime. They're not winning on the side of justice, side of truth. They're definitely not winning on the side of truth, because they just keep on lying after lying after lies after lies after lies after lies after lies, and it just doesn't end. It does not end with them. I want to invite you guys to go on to any Palestinian, like any pro-Palestine page, or any, like Jake Shields, for example, Lucas Gage. I'll just I'll screenshot their Twitters and I'll just post it here for you guys to go look at their page and just like put your shields down for a second and just take in what they're saying. Essentially, you're being propagandized and lied to believe a side that just isn't on the side of justice. And that's why globally you're seeing all of these protests about like pro-Palestine, and some of them are pro-Hamas. And as long as they're not inciting violence, as long as they're not saying trying to advocate for the hurting of other life around them, then that's fine. Even if, I know that this is going to be controversial to say, but as long as they are within the bounds of their First Amendment rights, so they're not inciting violence or being violent or anything along those lines, even if they're pro-Hamas, unfortunately, in places like America, that stuff is supposed to be protected. I mean, you have to recognize that freedom of speech, even though it might piss you off, you cannot try to restrict people's freedom of speech or First Amendment rights just because you're offended by what they say. And that applies to even Israelis saying that what their government is doing is great. I don't like to hear it. It sounds like nails on a chalkboard or whatever to me. Like hearing an Israeli or Jew or a pro-Israel kind of person saying that their government, the Israeli government, has the right to defend itself, it makes me feel like I'm in a state of panic for 2 seconds, because what they're really saying is the Israeli government has the right to bomb the shit out of the region of Gaza. That's what they're perpetuating, even though maybe some of them don't even realize it. Or you can walk around with a hat saying "Flatten Gaza," and that's if you find a hat or a sign or advocation of saying "Flatten Gaza" or "Turn Gaza into a parking lot" or "We'll get him next time," any of those phrases, as long as it's on the Israeli side toward the Palestinians, if you're okay with that speech but you're not okay with Hamas is doing something good, then you're a hypocrite. You don't actually believe in the First Amendment, and you want to restrict the brown people's speech in your country because you find it abhorrent. So I don't know, both sides are probably guilty of this, but I don't stand with either of those sides. If you are saying no to First Amendment rights, I mean, at the end of the, it's even crazy to for anyone to defend Hamas or the idea of flattening Gaza, because technically that's an incitation of violence, but it's not in their country, so I guess it's okay, right? Maybe, I don't know. So you're not winning on the side of justice or truth because you're not having a balanced response, and you're lying. You're using the media to perpetuate lies, but the fact of the matter is the reason why there are so many pro-Palestinian protesters is because of the fact that it's just not, it's like legitimately this time it's on the righteous side. It's not, you know, like it's not comparable to Ukraine versus Russia. There's so many psyops that you have to keep up with, and sometimes the side that you don't like is unfortunately the righteous side. And that's because like even a broken clock is correct 2 times a day, however that saying goes. And it's also not on the side of humanity because of the fact that it's just inhumane what Israel's doing, and I've already covered that, so I'm not even going to go into that. But also, if you're an American who is pro-Israel, that it's not an American first position, it's an Israel first position. You have an attachment to Israel in some kind of way, whether it's because you're Christian, Zionist, or Jew yourself, so your family lives there, or whatever. I mean, fine, have your attachments and stuff like that, but it's not an American first position. And the reason why it's not is because of the fact that Israel is not winning the international community. Israel is hated by the Muslim community. A lot of Asian countries aren't really standing with Israel. Some European countries aren't standing with Israel. And a lot of the UK is not standing with Israel. It's only like really some of the UK, the US politicians, Canada, basically anyone who is kind of run by Zionism, or Zionism as an ideology. They're pro-Israel because they believe in the Holy Land, they believe in the right for Israel to exist, which Israel has always existed anyway, so I don't even know what the fuck this fight is about. It's ridiculous. I mean, like I showed you Israel has existed since, like, for long enough to just not even be, like, what is this fight? What is this conflict? Israel has existed for a while. So it's not the American first position, because you're turning yourself away from a lot of the international community. And that's not going to be good for foreign trade, for the image of America. Like, the image of America today still stands, like, unless you're in the Muslim country, like a lot of the Muslim country, like, Muslim countries know that America is just not the same as 50, 60, 70 years ago. It's being occupied by a foreign country that we must not name. But I'm sure that if you're smart enough, you have already figured it out. And if you're not, then you need to go down that rabbit hole. And you need to push yourself to go down that rabbit hole. And also, Israel clearly wants war with Iran. They're probably not going to get it. I really hope that they don't get it, because that's going to trigger World War III, and that's going to fuck everything else up in the world. World War III is said to be commonly known as the nuclear war. So, nuke the world for Israel? Is that what you want? Is that the path that you're willing to, like... Is that the hill you're willing to die on? Die for the Holy Land, even though the earth is the Holy Land, not one state in Palestine. That's what the pro-Israel side is, like, essentially standing by. They want to go to World War III. They want to fuck everything up for the rest of us. They want to it's really quite selfish when you think about it. Like, when you realize that's the reality. Like, World War III being triggered, and their desire to steal land and claim it as their own and take up all these regions. They have this idea in their heads. The Iranians who stand with Israel, they have this fairy tale idea in their head that the Israeli government is going to come and save Iran. That's what they're hoping for. So they have this idea that the Israeli government is just simply going to yank out the mullahs, the Ayatollah, from power, and everything's going to just go back to the peaceful Shah era of Iran. But what they don't realize is that this is a delusional fairy tale. A delusional fairy tale, because when you go to war with a country, you don't just peacefully take over. You don't just peacefully ask the leaders of the country, can you please step down, sir? Can you please step down? Please step down for the people who want their country back to how it used to be. They're gonna do the same thing to Iran that they're currently doing to Gaza. You fucking idiots. That's real war. It's not like a diplomatic, it's not a diplomatic solution that Israeli government is after. They hate Iran. They absolutely hate Iran. Even before this conflict, they would bomb the shit out of Iran. I mean, they would strike Iran, not bomb. They are using your desperation as a weapon against you, and you're falling for it. You are so desperate to get your country back from the Islamists, and I am too. I am. I wish that Iran would get rid of the Islamic regime and get back to being the prosperous nation that it was heading toward. But I don't want Israel to be a part of it, because they've already shown what they do to a nation that is their ally, the U.S. And look at the state of the U.S. today. Sorry, I had to film this on another day, but the state of the U.S. Everybody is a degenerate, everybody's fat, everybody's obese, everyone's sick. Well, most people are sick to some degree, whether it's mental health or physical health or both. And it's just if this is what Israeli founded democracy can bring to a nation, I don't fucking want it. And LGBT rights. Okay, fine. LGBT, so gay people aren't getting thrown off of a roof. That's good. I don't want anyone I don't want that for gay people, gay and lesbian people, whether I agree with their lifestyle or not. That's not. But at the same time, you can find the middle ground. You can find a middle ground with situations like that. And I've taken some time to think about where I stand with the LGBT, and the thing is the only thing that I have to say is I don't really care who your sex partner is. I don't care who you want to fuck, but don't shove it in my face everywhere that I go. Don't I've literally seen videos of pride parades where people are just walking around butt naked, and I saw a fucking video of two gay men having sex on a fucking street in a pride parade, and it was disgusting. It was fucking disgusting, and it would have been disgusting if it was a woman and a man doing it as well, by the way. So don't even try to give me that, oh, you're a homophobe bullshit. Not even the point. That's not even the fucking point. They were fucking on the fucking street, guys. And the grooming of children and stuff like that. But for me, I follow what my religious texts say about marriage, for example. I think this is where I'm at. I think that I will respect I respect gays and lesbians, their right to exist. I'm not here to throw you off of a building or something, or off of a roof or something, or give you a mercy killing or something like that. But you can you have the right to work, you have the right to live, you have the right to be just be left alone in society. But where I draw the line is, keeping the sanctity of marriage in place. Because that is Ahura Mazda's or Zoroastrian text vision of marriage. And that's going to offend people, but that's what my religious texts say, and I stand by it. And I don't know, if you want to get married, go to like, I don't know, a country that aligns with your religious belief to marry a man, like 2 men getting married or 2 women getting married. But if you like, if you want to export that to a nation that was founded on Christian principles, which America was, okay, it was, you're gonna have a hard time. I mean, like, you're gonna, like, I know that this is not a popular opinion in America now, but this is exactly what I want to prevent in Iran. That's not what I want. That's not the culture that I want brought to Iran. You've already fucked up the US. You fucked up the minds of the US people. You're not doing that to the rest of the world. The sanctity of marriage is between a man and a woman, and the reason why, like, there's a wisdom to this is because it's the yin and it's the perfect yin and the yang. It's the man is the yang, the woman is the yin, I think, or maybe it's the other way around. I've forgotten because my brain is scrambled. But it's the natural harmonizing yin and yang. The feminine and the masculine come together, they create life, and then they raise more life. And it works perfectly in every species. It works with animals, it works with, like, but when you disrupt that perfect harmony between the man and the woman, the female and the male, the masculine and the feminine, you get chaos. You get chaos whether you like to admit it or not. And that's the state of the US right now, because they accepted this. They accepted the premise of not just like fatherless homes and role reverse, like energy reversals of masculine and feminine, but there was a wisdom to this order that our ancestors know about and our religious texts know about. And you can't escape that just because you want to live in a fairy tale utopia. There's no such thing. Like, it has to have an order, and you can't always win. So yeah, that's where I'm leaving it off. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. Leave me a comment. I know that I'm probably going to get backlash for this. That's fine. I probably won't even read your comment anyway because I'm out in the real world. But throughout these times, you have to, the one thing that I ask is preserve your humanity. Fight for your humanity. Good thoughts, good deeds, and good words. And what are good thoughts, good deeds, good words? The righteous order, which opposes the chaotic order, and seeking the truth, the ultimate truth, not the truth that serves you. Because the truth that serves you could be because the truth that serves you could be the truth of Satan. So it deceives you. Bye, guys.